What's going on, you guys? It's Alex, and in today's video, I want to just quickly show you, how to write the best Google Ads headlines for your Google Ads, so that people actually click through, so that you actually get people visiting your site, and that you can actually drive conversions from relevant users that are interested in your service. So the reason I'm making this video is because every time I make videos, I can tell that people just have no idea what they're doing. I mean, this is just, why is there an emoji in their name? Anyways, even here, huge, big, heavy-hitting keyword, Toronto general contractor, big money services, right? Huge projects, great margins. If you look at the headlines that people are running here, #1 construction company in GTA, home remodeling, and, right? But we're not looking for a construction company, right? We're looking for a general contractor. It's a little bit different. It doesn't match the intent. Home Additions Toronto, Space and Comfort, Summit Contractors. Nobody cares about your business name. That should never be in the headline. We're not looking for Home Additions Toronto. We're looking for a contractor. We're not looking for a construction group. No one cares about your business name. And we're not looking for base and remodeling. We are simply looking for a Toronto general contractor. Anyways, this isn't about targeting, but I just want to quickly jump in and show you guys here with my amazing list how to write the best Google Ads headlines. First and foremost, always include the location and the service, right, in your headline. So for Toronto general contractor, none of these mention that. And if you were a Toronto general contractor, sorry, let me just exit out of this one. Here we are. If you were a Toronto general contractor in your headlines, you would want to mention Toronto general contractor, right? General contractor in Toronto. It's really that easy. Now, every time someone looks at the ad, more times than not, it's going to mention Toronto general contractor. So it's relevance. It's going to skyrocket your click-through rate, and somebody that is looking for a Toronto general contractor, which thousands of people are looking for every month, doesn't care about a construction company or home additions. They want to see that they're able to get what they want, which is a Toronto general contractor. So in all your ad headlines, always mention once or twice or 3 times, as many times as you can, that makes sense. Always mention the location, so Toronto, and the service. Don't mention, for example, if you're doing commercial cleaning, don't mention industrial cleaning. Don't mention kitchen cleaning. Don't mention window cleaning. Only mention the service that you're offering that you're running ads to. So if you're doing HVAC repair, don't mention AC installation. Only mention HVAC repair. Whatever business you have and whatever area you're targeting, mention the location every time and focus on that specific service, right? And that's 80% of the ads right there. If you have this, you'll get people clicking, you get people converting, as long as the landing page matches that intent, and you'll be better than 90% of people running ads at the moment, because nobody has any idea what they're doing. Next, if you can include these, you want to have some competitive advantage, unique selling point, or key benefit for your business. In the case of, what do we have here? Toronto general contractor, we would have some key benefits being something like 24-hour quotes, right? Another key benefit would be Toronto, locally owned, Toronto business, this doesn't fit, locally owned in Toronto, right? That's a huge selling point. Other benefits, other unique selling points could be something like sourcing Canada only, right? So you're only using Canadian products, all right? Canada only, right? So what would you call it? Not supplies, equipment, something like that. Yeah, Canada only supplies. Canada only materials, that's the word, right? Made in Canada materials, stuff like that. You want to include these because people are going to see this, especially now with how things are going. Locally owned, right? Toronto general contractor, 24-hour quotes. That's amazing. It's already better than 95% of people running ads out there, right? So you want to think of, use ChatGPT, You should know this for your own business, but you need to want to think of how you can stand apart from your competition, some of your USPs, and what key benefits you have to offer your audience, right? Another thing you want to include that works really well are offers, promos, or savings, right? People can see through this in a lot of instances, but if you were, for example, doing pool cleaning ads, right, you would have a pool cleaning ad that would be free filter for new clients, right? This is a weekly service or bi-weekly service that people pay for. You can throw in a free pool filter, and this will help convert. This will get people clicking, right? The other thing you can do, first week free, right? You could have $20 off first service if you're doing something like junk removal, right? Book online, save, 10%. I don't know why I had the dollar sign there. Save 10%, stuff like that, right? If you can have an offer that you can actually commit to, right? Or pricing works incredibly well. So if you can include pricing as well, so for example, junk removal from $89. That will get a higher click-through rate. That'll get more people clicking through your site, and then result in higher conversions. Depending on the niche, you're going to have to understand the fundamentals of your industry, of your vertical, to see what you can offer. But this can help. And the beautiful thing is, you would test all of this. Another thing is you can have guarantees, or you would want to test guarantees. So you would have something like, we can come today, right? Same day service works really well. 24-hour turnaround, right? All this works really well. All this works incredibly well for a lot of services, if it makes sense for the service that you're offering. Another thing that you can have is social proof or authority, which would be reviews and then years in business. So what I like to add to a lot of these headlines and test is something like all 5-star Google reviews, or not, don't say Google, all 5-star reviews online. And then you could say locally operated for 20 years, right? This alone will make a huge difference, and when it does show up in the ad, right, really good. I mean, this ad does not look good, because in this case, I would probably pin this headline. You can also do that. You can pin headlines. Look at this. This is a really great looking ad already. Toronto General Contractor, locally owned in Toronto. That's a fantastic looking ad, right? And for pinning headlines, you want to test that as well. You want to test everything. Call to action, of course, you want a call to action in every single ad that you ever write. Call to action would be get a quote today, call for pricing now, stuff like this, right? Really basic, but does encourage people to take action, especially if it does show up in the ad, right? And Google will test a lot of this, but you can test a lot of this as well on your own, but you always want to have a call to action. Stats, numbers, questions. Numbers work really well, and questions work really well. So you would have something along the lines of, we've built 500 plus homes, right? And a question would be something like, for the home building example, or an example, you would be like, dealing with dirty gutters, right? And if you were in junk removal, you would have something like too much junk at home, or junk piling up at home. If you were a plumber, is your sink leaking? To dealing with a mold problem. All this stuff works, right? And again, you want to include this from the start, but you can also test it. And Google will give you the data on whether or not what you're including is working, if they're showing it, and then you can make changes on a monthly basis depending on the stats you get. And finally, one of my favorite Google Ads headlines strategies is to include keyword insertion. And so if you guys aren't aware of what that is, I'll just show you right here. If you hit the little squiggle bracket, which is this, I don't know what that's called, but if you hit that, right, you can add a keyword insertion, which is can add a location, a countdown, or an actual keyword. So what I like to do is location. So you could say, you would have something like home builders in, and you would add keyword insertion. You would add the sentence case, which is fine. You could do like Miami, right? Oh, sorry, I want to do location. That's my bad, guys. You would want to get rid of this one here. How do I get rid of this now? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. There we go. I don't know why I can't get rid of it. Let's see. There we go. Home builders in, hit the squiggle, add location, right? Add your city, Miami. Hit apply. And then if you pin that, I'll just show you guys quickly what that looks like. It will now add now don't get scared when Google shows you all these random ones. It's just giving you an example. I don't even know where Wat Chalo is, but it'll show the location that someone's searching for exactly. So if they're in, for example, if you go to maps, let me just go to America here. Where are we? If they're in, for example, Savannah, right? You can target all of Savannah, but it'll say when they search, looking for junk removal in Midtown, right? Looking for junk removal in Isle of Hope, need a home builder in Paradise Park, right? Super good, super, super good. And then you send to the landing page that's going to target Savannah, and they get the idea for the most part. And again, on Google Ads side of things, if you see the data coming in that you're getting a lot of people searching from Vertonghenburg, make a new ad there. And make a new landing page just for Vertonghenburg, for example. But the keyword insertion works incredibly well, and then you can also have it something like this. Let me show you guys. You could do something like where nearby in, and then you add the location. Boom. All right. For keyword insertion, you could do something like best. Right, keyword insertion, and then you could have something like here. This is really good because when they add this keyword, if they search for, if your ad is showing up for junk removal in Toronto, right, but they search Toronto's junk hauling experts, it'll show up here in the keyword. So you would just have junk removal. Or no, we want junk removal, right? Best junk removal near you. Now if you pin this, you'll see here, let's see, look, it's going to include the keyword that somebody searched for, right? Roof gutter cleaning near you. And it's going to be super relevant to that search, and it will work incredibly well. And will skyrocket your click-through rate, get you conversions, everything like that. In any case, you guys, hopefully you found this video helpful. It did run a little bit longer. We're at the 12-minute mark here. I hope you did find some good ideas here. This is how I would write Google Ads headlines. I would spend a little bit more time on this if I was doing it for a client, for example, but this is a really good foundation to get you guys started on the Google Ads headline side of things. If you did make it this far, as always, you guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget, you can click the link down below. You can book a call with me. I'm happy to take a look at your Google Ads campaigns, answer any questions you have about Google Ads, setting it up, anything like that, and of course, see if there is any opportunity to work together to help you manage your own Google Ads, get you more leads, get you more calls, keep you busy with your own business. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video.